Welcome to another edition of YatlifeChronicles, where we are better together than separated. We have again on the show today Madison Adaray. Did I say it correctly?
Adaray.
How I go? What's your IG?
Adore.
Oh, Adore.
Adore.Madison.
Adore.Madison is her IG. Madison is a special young lady. She's been through a lot in her life. She's graduating this year. But I wanted to bring her back to the show so she can talk to you guys about her experience as growing up without a father. Her father was killed in a tragic accident. Do you remember what year?
2006.
2006. And for my fans out there that don't know who your father is, can you say his name?
Darnell Island.
Okay. And when Darnell died, how old were you?
I was a baby. I think I was just 1 year old.
Okay. So when you really got to the point to realize that your father was gone, how did you feel about that?
For me, well, what I did was, because I knew he wasn't there, so I think in my head, like as a kid, like I would always like imagine him being there, so I think that kind of helped me cope with him not being there as a kid. And then when I got older and I finally realized he really wasn't here, I was just like, dang, like he's really gone. But I've had my like tears and stuff and like, wow, he's really not here. He can't see me like get married, graduate and stuff like that. It is like, it's not emotional for me no more because I think I've healed from it, but it's still like something I do think about when it's like those important moments when it comes up.
Like, so how do you feel about like when you see dads and their daughter together?
As a kid, I did get really emotional about that because I know my grandfather, he would step in like take me to like the daddy and daughter dances or like celebrate Father's Day, but I will also remember my dad's death. And so I would say, like, Happy Father's Day to my grandfather because he was always, like, a father figure to me and Gregory. And I was, like, remember my dad's death and my family, we would always get together and they would always tell me stories about him, like how he was, what did he do, how did he grow up. And, yeah.
All right. So, being a young lady, growing up in this world without a father, without that masculine, genuine love and support that, because a stepfather, there's nothing like your biological father. Everybody will a biological father, but I mean, you always have me as your bonus dad, and I want to let you know that I love you and I want the best for you. How can you tell my viewers what can they do to help them get through a tragedy or of a parent being lost in their life, them growing up with a parent that they done lost?
Well, what I can say.
What can you tell them to help them get through that, to get over that depression, over that grief, over that, how can you use that to help you push your agenda further?
Well, for me, I think that crying it out is like a best way because for me when I was growing up, I think I didn't like being vulnerable nor crying because in my household it's just like we really didn't show a lot of emotions growing up. So I think that when my dad did pass away, I was like always like looked at as tough, but then the inside I was just like like he's really not here. So I think that now that I'm older, like I realize now it's okay to cry about it and just like realize, or you can journal. I do journal. For me personally, I do journal most of my thoughts and like stuff that I go through as well. And I think that ask your family members like about a parent, like what would they like, and stuff like that.
So with your dad being gone, do that makes the relationship with your mom much more stronger? You and your mom real close?
I feel like we are close, but I think it's to an extent because I think that me and my mom, because I say this, I will always have love and respect for my mother, but I feel like emotionally we are not connected in a good way. And I feel like since my dad is, because she always thought I would be like a daddy's girl, and I feel like I would too. And I feel like we are close because since we I lost my dad, you know, they were together. I think that's something we do bond with, and she always tells me stories about him, and like
Mm-hmm.
she'll say like, "Oh, you remind me like your
Right.
dad, like that's something
Right.
Darnell would have did," and like
Right.
we'll laugh about it and just have a good time. So yeah.
So you saying you would have been like if your dad was here, you would have been more of a daddy's little girl.
Mhm.
So, but you and your mom have a good relationship,
Mhm.
but you're not a mama's girl.
Yeah.
Basically, you saying that you like more of a daddy's girl, even though your dad not here.
Mhm.
It's pretty unique, you know. Um, so, what are some of the things that you use? Some of the things that you do to help take your mind off of your dad, take your mind off his death.
Well, for me, I think that growing up every day, I think I've gotten used to like really coping. Like he's really not here and he's not coming back because it's not like he left. Like he's really like dead. And so I think that when it's like Christmas or like my birthday or his death day, sometimes me and my mom we would go to like his gravesite and we would just look, and then like again she'll tell me stories and make me laugh, and like and
Right.
we'll just celebrate, and I'll go over to my other side of the family's house and we'll just laugh and have a good time.
Well, yeah, and it's crazy because me and you in the same situation. I lost my dad, you know, through a tragic incident, and I remember an older guy told me. He said the day of his funeral, he said, "Man, make sure you always take your dad flowers. Make sure you always take a broom, go clean off his tombstone and things of that nature because." He said, no one's going to do it but you. And I do it to this day. And I go out there and it's pretty grassy, it's pretty messy. You can tell no one's been out there for a while. So I want to tell you that you're going to be the one to, you always will be the one to clean your dad's headstone. Go out there, take care, talk to him and just let him know some of the successes in your life, like, and I know one of the successes in your life is that you're graduating soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your dad is looking over you. He's your angel. He's taking care of you. What are some of your most highest moments this year in high school?
This year in high school, I think for me my highest moments was realizing I'm stronger than what I think, and beating like depression because I was really depressed for so long, but
What was
nobody.
you depressed about?
I think that life can be overwhelming for a teenager, and I think people like to undermine or like what's the word I'm looking for, invalidate like your experience, like, oh, you don't know what it's like till you get grown. But it's like being a teenager is also isn't easy because you're being a kid but you're also transitioning to a young adult, so people really
And
don't
it's
understand that.
confusing.
And then on top of that, for my personal life, I was always busy. Sometimes it was hard for me to really relax, and I just really wasn't happy and not motivated. And yeah, and also learning myself as well, getting to know myself and again to be more self-aware and self-conscious, and what else? And I think that I've learned also because I did learn a lot this year about myself and from others that um you can't help somebody that don't want to be helped no matter how much you tell them.
Yeah,
If
very true.
you can't do it, and it's like, and for me I've just learned that this goes to whoever. If you want to be in a certain situation or be with a person, be friends with a person, that's on you. Just don't come to me and say, oh, they're not this, they're not that, because you chose to be with that person.
Yeah, right. So what you're saying basically, uh, you knew this person was lacking in certain areas,
Mm-hmm.
but you still chose to be with that person.
Well, not for me. I think for me, because I'm always like the friend, because I've like been in situations like this plenty of times where I see somebody who I care about get mistreated by a person, but they won't leave them alone. It's like, hey, like they're not a good person, like leave them alone. It's like, well, I still like them, or I've been friends with them for so long, and it's like,
Right.
because for me, I'm more of a assertive type of person, but some of my friends, they're not really assertive, but like they are, but they're like the soft spoken type of assertive, and I'm more of the cut deep type of assertive. And I just try to be there for them, but I also realize that because I would be more stressed than they are, because I think I'm a very caring person. I go really hard for people who I care about, because like, who wants to see somebody who they care about get hurt?
Right.
And so I would just like tell them like, hey, that's on you. But then months later, they're like, oh my gosh, you were so right. I'm like, yeah, I know I was right.
You predicted it,
Yeah.
And that's so. And I mean, that's a good epiphany to have. That's a good understanding to have, because at the end of the day, you want to kind of try to see things before it happens. You want to kind of predict what's going to happen before it's happened. And I know human behavior can become so predictable to the point you just know what's going to happen before it even happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something you've been through before. You just can see that coming. You have prom this year.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you go to Bridgeport. Mm-hmm. So what are you and some of the class have been doing this year as far as like your trips and things of that nature?
Trip wise, well, we have had a lot of stuff. A couple months ago, like 2 months ago, me and some of the girls in the classroom, we went to a cosmetology school, and then we went out to eat, which was like.
You want to shout out some of your friends?
I got a lot of them. I don't even feel like naming them.
Okay.
Right now. I got a lot of them. What else we do? We did something. We also did senior skip day. I hated senior skip day. I hated it so much. I didn't like it.
Right.
And we did homecoming. I was also on the cheer team. And I also did competitive cheer. And yeah, that's really was about it.
So how do you like cheerleading?
Cheerleading, it takes sacrifice. I feel like it's very fun, but I did have my days where I didn't want to be there. I think between me and my coach, me and her, we had a very toxic relationship, because one minute we would be liking each other, and then another minute we like, oh, whatever, like, you get on my nerve. And with cheer, it does take a lot of sacrifice and strength to be on a cheer team, especially competitive cheer, because competitive cheer is way different than cheering at a basketball game or at a football game. Because when I learned in cheer, Miss Haney, that's my coach, she used to say that no matter if you don't like the girl or not, you still have to make sure she's okay and protect her, make sure she doesn't get hurt. And I think that was one of the biggest lessons I learned.
Do you think cheerleading is a dangerous sport?
I wouldn't say dangerous. I mean, it could be. It actually could be, because a lot of cheerleaders have gotten hurt doing cheer. But I feel like if you know what you're doing, I feel like with cheer, it takes a lot of trust. If the girl or boy, boys can be cheerleaders, if they don't trust you, it's not going to work at all. It will never work. If trust is not in the building or in the team, it's not going to work. Because I've been in situations where me and the girl, we didn't argue, but I know if she's my flyer, because I was a back spotter, I know I had to still make sure she's okay. And it's been situations where a girl has almost fallen over or broken her neck, and I had to catch her and make sure she was okay, which has happened, and it's very scary. But I feel like it's very, I don't know what's the word. It's very intense. I'll say that, intense.
Okay. And do y'all come up with a lot of y'all own original?
We had some. We have, but it's been other cheers that have been made before us. And when we did competitive cheer, I think we had to do a specific routine, which we did. And then every round we would switch up like little parts, like add in like more flips, or like more like stunts and stuff like that.
Okay. What are some of the other sports you did?
No, that's the only one.
Yeah. She only do pretty girl things. If it don't consist of beauty, she not doing it. Listen, so tell us a little bit about your beauty. I see you got your hair. What is those, extensions?
Passion twist.
Passion twist. Okay, and I like those. Those are real nice. So, what are some of the things that you do to help pamper yourself and keep yourself looking good?
For me, I feel like when I take care of myself, beauty, because, beauty is like that's something that will never go out of style. And I feel like when you take care of yourself, I feel like you feel way more better, instead of just, because when you're like, when you're depressed, like you don't feel like doing anything, you don't feel like taking care of yourself. But now that I'm older, I really appreciate taking care of myself. And it's important, because at a time of like my life, I didn't care for taking care of myself. I didn't care for showering or eating or sleeping. It was just.
Was that when you was going through the depression?
Mm-hmm. And so now Like I really appreciate like taking a shower, which I shower people. I do take care of. I'm not a dirty person, but it's just like I'm at a place where I'm like, okay, I love this. I feel good. Like doing skincare, doing makeup. I try to like to limit my makeup because then I have to remind myself that.
So I tell my fans out there, how can we get our skin like yours?
Well,
What do we have to use? Because our
breakouts.
skin is beautiful.
Thank you. I have breakouts. I have dark spots,
Right.
but I'm still learning to really embrace it. I don't
Right.
really have on makeup today at all.
Right.
And I'm learning that makeup is supposed to enhance, not cover up yourself.
Right. Do you think wearing too much makeup eat up your face at a certain point? Like start kind of like
breaking out
impairing it, like breaking it out and causing
yeah.
holes and
But
dark spots.
But I think that before you do makeup, because I've been learning recently that your skin care should be just as important as you love makeup. And I think when I started doing makeup, I think that kind of glanced over my head because if I had a breakout, let me put makeup on.
Right.
But I've learned that you need to take more care of your skin than putting on makeup.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Take care of your natural skin.
Mm-hmm.
So do you put makeup on more or are you natural right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you rock your natural more or makeup?
I feel like it's a balance. Like I'm starting to have a balance because in the beginning of the year I wore makeup like every day, and I think that it was like kind of like weighing on me. Like, okay, I have to put on makeup, and I'm like, you don't need makeup. Like, you don't need it at all.
Right. Yeah, you don't need makeup. But I know sometimes a lot of people like to wear makeup. Mm-hmm. Do you wear lashes?
No, these are my real eyelashes.
Okay. I see a lot of people wear lashes today. Lashes are just the big thing today. What's the best lashes that people wear?
Like the trend nowadays, like real big, like fluffy lashes. I personally don't like them because I don't think they look right on my eyes. But it's not for me. I'll say that.
So you've never wore lashes?
Oh, I've had worn lashes, but it's just like it's just a lot. Because my
Right.
friends, I'm like, how do y'all do that? Like,
Right.
y'all can have that.
What were some of the worst things you've seen at school this year? Some of the worst things that happened?
Worst things I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that honestly, it hasn't been pretty bad because usually, if something about to pop off, I hurry up and leave because I don't want to be in the middle of that. And because like a lot of like Bridgeport and Saginaw High had a game. It was at least 3 fights that happened. One was in the hallway. It was like brawls everywhere. And so I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I want to leave because this is getting out of hand. And so really,
hit the pause. Oh, her mom's calling her, so she's answering that. But Madison and her mom have a special relationship. See, she has to answer the phone during the interview. I told her to put it on vibrate. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's outside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where you on your way to?
Driver's training. I had to take my test today.
When you think you're going to get your license?
License? I don't even know because I'm on segment 2, but segment 3 is my last one, so I'm pretty sure I'll probably get that in.
Okay, so before you're out of here, just give my friends your IG. And...
Hey guys, it's Adore.Madison. Adore spelled with 2 E's, and yeah.
Okay. Madison back with us again. Giving her, things that, some bad things that happened in her life, fired her, losing her father. And what we want to do, Madison, is we want to wish you the best of luck, with the rest of your life, going to school, going to the adult world. And we just want you to know, we're really pushing for you to be the best that you can be, So at the end of the day, we're better together than separated. Mm-hmm. This is another edition of YatlifeChronicles.